Bon, on va faire Sherlock Holmes. Mais non.
First of all, let us examine the area where the train disappeared.
This is the place where we saw the train vanish last night.
A discarded item, possibly thrown from the train. There are no tracks or footprints on the ground. Railway sleepers, nothing unusual. The rails have not been touched. There's nothing unusual here. There are no signs to indicate that the train ran off the track, nor are there any other traces. There is nothing whatsoever. There are no clues. But then, a negative result is also a result.
Oh, I see what you're getting at. No clues, and you're smiling.
Yes, Watson, I do smile on occasion. This mystery appears very promising. This investigation won't be simple. We shall require a map of the region.
Perhaps the station master could lend us one. a new telegram.
I think we should meet this Mr. Robinson. Here is the train set. A telegraph. Good morning. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson.
Yes, I remember you. I'm Station Master Everett. You were here last night. So, you are Mr. Holmes, the great detective. Will you be investigating what happened?
I shall indeed.
It is extraordinary that an entire train could disappear like that. And to think of all the poor people inside it, the passengers, the driver.
Could you please give us any details about the train?
Well, there was nothing so very special about it. At least not that I can recall. My memory's not what it used to be. However, if you need it, you can have the train composition report. It's inside my office.
According to the train composition report, there was a special wagon. What does that entail?
That's a highly secure car, ordered by a private party. It is generally to carry something of value. Those wagons have iron walls, you know, without any windows, and they're fitted with a complex key lock.
That is important information. Do you know what was inside this particular wagon?
Certainly not. No, that's private, and it's not my responsibility to allot the wagons to whoever.
I would be glad to have a detailed map of the local railway district.
But of course, please, take the one that's pinned inside the waiting hall.
See you later, my good man.
En fait, je crois qu'ils l'ont remasterisé pour la... En fait, je pense qu'ils l'ont remasterisé pour la One X. Parce que je me souviens bien que c'était... Il semble bien que j'y avais joué. Mais ils ont dû le... En fait, c'est le même jeu, mais en fait, c'est le même jeu, mais remasterisé, quoi. Remasterisé.
Holmes, how is it even possible for a train to disappear?
This part is probably from a locomotive. An old locomotive bell. This part is probably from a locomotive. This place serves as a storage area for the station. There was a building here not so long ago.
But I don't understand, Holmes. Why would anyone destroy the shed in such a manner?
It was disassembled in great haste. It is most odd. Traces. Let's take a closer look. Nothing interesting here. The distance between the tracks is about 6 feet 7 inches. The vehicle would have been heavy, as these tracks are quite deep. These traces are relatively fresh and were made by a large truck loaded with materials. This road should lead to the town of Evesham.
Holmes, how is it even possible for a train to disappear?
Mais... Et si tu me laisses pas passer, c'est sûr que ça va pas le faire. Comment tu veux que je passe, moi? Laisse-moi passer. laissez-moi passer. Mais... Ah, voyons. Mais...
Was there anything exceptional about any of the passengers aboard the train?
What do you mean? Like officials? I wouldn't know. Oh, but now that you mention it, yes, there was something. There was a message from Bridlington station saying that the train had been delayed because of an issue with the passengers. What kind of problem that they didn't say?
That is interesting. You mentioned a problem at Bridlington station. I should like to visit this station. Could you mark it on the local map?
Of course. It's a suburban railway station. You might take a cab there.
It appears that there was a small warehouse near your station and that it was disassembled. Why is that?
It was burgled overnight about 2 weeks ago. The police have already started their investigation, but I doubt that they'll find anything.
What was inside the warehouse?
Nothing of value. A few 100 feet of standby rails and some spare railway parts. But it wouldn't be easy to steal all of that. Why would anyone want to?
See you later, my good man.
This is an absolute scandal. It's always the same with these rail companies. No respect for the customer.
Please calm down, sir. What is your concern?
Concern? What is my concern? I'll tell you what my concern is. Last night I were on the train as usual with my colleague, heading home. Then along came this ridiculous ticket inspector, who started arguing that our tickets were invalid. He made us get off the train, and he was extremely rude about it.
Were you aboard the train that vanished last night?
Yes. I heard that it disappeared, but I don't care because we would have stopped before then anyway. Our tickets were valid and no doubt about it. And then, to top it all, the ticket inspector pushed everyone else out too, except for a bunch of rich. Well, because their type don't need a ticket.
Can you recall anything more specific about this fortunate group?
Well, yes. They were all foreigners. Spanish-looking toffs with snake eyes.
Goodbye, sir. Good day to you, sir.
Good day. To whom am I speaking?
My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is...
Are you a representative of this damned railway company? Because I have a complaint.
We are not from the railway company. We are...
Well, in that case, Mr. Shamrock Flomes, please excuse me, but I'm not in the mood for idle chit-chat at the moment.
You must be Mr. Robinson, is that correct?
Yes?
I am leading the investigation of the disappearing train. It would help if you could answer my questions.
Ah, well, all right. I have nothing to hide.
I presume it was you who placed the order for the special wagon.
Yes. It was to transport my valuable prototype safely to London. My prototype is a revolutionary device. It is capable of producing electricity. I'm a businessman and an engineer. I had already found several potential customers for my invention, but I was very optimistic about the directors' board who were travelling on the train last night.
You mentioned a director's board. Which company do they own?
The Chilean Barcazes Company. I had made an appointment with them. Now they are lost, along with the train and my prototype.
What do you know about the Barcazes Company?
It's a large South American company. They showed a great deal of interest in my prototype, and they seemed wealthy enough to do business with.
This revolutionary machine of yours, was it very valuable?
For God's sake, sir, it is priceless. It could change the world we live in, and yet I was selling it for almost nothing. I am a humanitarian, you see. I do not know if I will ever be able to get over this disaster. I cannot believe that it disappeared with that damned train.
Mr. Robinson, could you please clarify? Were you traveling alongside your prototype?
Yes, I was. But I had to step off the train. And all because of this stupid station master.
I received a telegram declaring that an important person, a Mr. Bromsby, wished to see you in the waiting room. I'm not informed you of this.
Mr. Bromsby is a wealthy gentleman. His interest in my invention was truly unexpected. So yes, of course, I agreed to see him. Unfortunately, he wasn't there. I thought perhaps he might have been delayed, so I chose to wait a while. But despite my requests, the train left the station without me. Absolutely unacceptable.
The timetable is strict. We cannot wait any longer. The regulations require the train to be on time.
You are an idiot. You will pay for it. I will sue you.
The ticket inspector forced all the passengers from the train except for the directors of the Barcazes Chilean Company. insurance policy for Robinson's machine. A significant sum. A telegraph.
Oh yeah, ça va t'es hein. Mais je crois qu'en fait le jeu j'ai déjà joué. Mais vu la date 2014, je devais avoir la 360. C'est un vieux jeu quoi. Un vieux jeu à mon avis qu'ils ont remasterisé pour la One quoi.
Good day to you, gentlemen. How may I help you?
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I am investigating the unfortunate disappearance of last night's train.
I see. I'm Station Master Bertram, but my supervisor has not informed me about this. I do not know if...
Do not worry. I have only a few questions. Station Master Everett from Evesham told us that you reported a problem with some passengers last night.
Indeed. This train is a regular line for those who work at Nottingham. But yesterday, everyone was asked to get off the train here at my station. I've no idea why, and it delayed the train. But the worst of it is that now I have to deal with 2 furious passengers who are complaining about the company's service. They stayed here the whole night. But people do not usually pay much attention to the regulations, you see. There are very strict and clear rules. Paragraph 234 of Article 2G-43 states that in the event of a complaint, you must...
Yes, thank you. I understand. Apart from the passengers disembarking, did you notice anything else that was unusual last night?
I did, and I mentioned it in my report to our higher management on the matter.
What was it?
Sorry, but I can't tell you. The station master's reports are confidential.
Confidential, you say? How long have you been working here?
I've worked here long enough to be quite capable of managing a railway station.
Apart from the passenger...
I did.
What was it?
Sorry. I've worked here long enough to be quite capable of managing a railway station.
Let me speak frankly, Mr. Bertram. Your age and your lack of confidence in your position are quite apparent. You cannot deny that you have only recently completed your studies.
I was at the top of my class.
Listen here, young man. I am aware that you wish to protect yourself behind all these regulations, but I represent the law.
And you are obstructing the investigation of an important case. I would suggest that you cooperate with Mr. Holmes. Think of your career.
Ah, that is... Well, I'll tell you everything. First of all, I scolded the ticket inspector, for it was he who asked the passengers to leave the train. It was not his right to do so. He was very rude. And then, later on, I received a most peculiar telegram from my colleague at Chesterfield Station, the next stop along the line.
What did the telegram say?
Well, that was the peculiar thing. It was almost unreadable. It was full of errors and awfully vague. It was hard to understand if the train had correctly passed that station or not. You can read it for yourself.
We ought to visit Chesterfield Station. We need to confirm if the station master saw the train or not.
This bin is full of empty bottles. I had thought that all station masters knew the Morse code, but apparently not.
A telegraph.
How could he fall asleep at work like this? Excuse me, sir. Wake up. Ah, his breath. He must have swallowed half a distillery.
And that explains the how.
By his sleeping off the alcohol, you mean? Wake up, please, sir.
Huh? What? The 18-hour 72 train has arrived?
Good day to you. We are investigating the disappearance of last night's train, and we should like to ask you a few questions. Were there any passengers who got off that particular train at your station last night?
No, nobody, it seems to me. Although I did not leave my office, so...
No doubt you were very busy.
You don't say. You can't ever get any peace around here. Now you have to send a telegram each time a train arrives and departs.
Station Master Bertram from Bridlington showed me a strange telegram that he received from you last night. It concerned the train, but it was barely comprehensible.
What? He's a fastidious little twerp, that Bertram. I remember everything quite clearly. It was late, and I was tired, but I did my work. So what? There's no need to be so petty.
You were not tired, you were inebriated. Tell me the truth now, or I shall not hesitate to document your state in my report.
My friend means that you will end up by being sacked from your position.
All right. So I was drunk. I don't remember all of yesterday, to be truthful to you. Please don't go harsh on me.
Holmes, this man has consumed a considerable amount of alcohol. He's not entirely helpless yet, but...
It will not be long before he is. Obviously, his testimony cannot be trusted. handcar wheelbase. Interesting. It appears that elements of the same construction were scattered everywhere. Watson, please tell me, do you believe in magic?
Of course not, Holmes.
Then you are of the opinion that a train cannot simply disappear.
Well, we both know that that is obvious. Why are you asking such peculiar questions?
A little patience, Watson. You will understand my point quite soon. So, are you quite certain that you saw the train at Evesham Station?
Yes, of course. We saw it coming. The headlights, and heard the whistle.
But that is it. We didn't see the train itself.
But... Oh, Holmes, I'm a little confused.
I should use the appropriate object here. I should use the appropriate object here. I should use the appropriate... I should use the appropriate object here. So, now here we have the fake train that we saw approaching Evesham Station last night.
Doesn't look much like a train to me.
Be patient, Watson, I haven't finished yet. Try using your imagination. Our train requires only a headlight and a steam whistle. We need to attach a headlight and a steam whistle.
Phare et un sifflet à vapeur. Phare et un sifflet à vapeur.
The long pole is now attached. It will allow us to connect the headlight. The headlight is attached. The steam whistle is now connected.
Holmes, what can we do to make the steam whistle work?
It is elementary, my dear Watson. We shall need a fire extinguisher. The fire extinguisher. Now let us see what we have here. The steam whistle is ready to be used. Watson, I do believe that we have created an exact replica of the train that vanished in front of us last night. The criminal mind can be most inventive. I am somewhat in awe.
So such a thing is possible. If someone went to all the trouble of creating this fake train, then it was surely with the intention of stealing the real one.
Ah, Watson, you should not jump to conclusions. In fact, this does not tell us very much at all, except that the train did not evaporate into thin air.
Although you half suspected it.
Huh. At any rate, we now need to find where the real train might be hidden. I suggest we use my archives to find a more detailed map of our surroundings.
Well, I hope that justifies our having to load your massive archive suitcase onto the cab. It made us extremely unpopular with our driver. Holmes, how is it even possible for a train to disappear?
Don't touch anything, please.
Les archives.
Now we have two maps. We must combine them properly. Here it is. There is a side branch to the railway. Its first switch is located between Bridlington and Chesterfield stations. There is one more station to be visited. It is located between Chesterfield and Evesham, and there should be a side railway to the nearby quarry. There is a small section of a railway at the end of Evesham Station. Mines. This is interesting. The switch is rusted, but it still works. It would be quite possible for someone to redirect the train towards the mines.
A funny character. He looks anxious.
And he is not an Englishman.
Newspaper articles on horse racing. Hurdle, steeplechase, and flat racing. He is a true enthusiast, Holmes.
Betting slips for horse racing. The sums are quite impressive.
It can be an expensive vice. This man had probably used all his savings.
A telegraph.
Holmes, look. There's a flooded area over here.
I believe that the flooded area might be worth checking. Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. John Watson. We are investigating the case of the vanished train.
Is that so? Well, good day, gentlemen. I'm Mr. Duff, the station master of this station. I'll be happy to help you in any way I can, but there's not much that I can tell you about last night.
It appears that you may be at risk of some flooding along the line here.
You mean that the whole bloody lake is at our feet?
Quite so. But it is strange, because according to my map, there should be a quarry here, and behind that, the lake.
How should I know? I only arrived here a few months ago.
And where did you work before that?
I was working in Nottingham, but I asked for a quieter place, so they transferred me here. Life is cheaper. I can't really complain.
Did any passengers leave or board the train last night?
No. I saw no one as usual. I reported the train's passage by telegraph, just the same as all the other nights.
I observe that you are a gambling man, Mr. Duff. You had hoped that your relocation to this small town might have helped ease your addiction, but it was not to be.
I beg your pardon? Addiction to what?
We found a number of horse racing tickets inside your office. Well, we all have our weaknesses. An expensive obsession, surely, for a station master.
It is none of your business. I occasionally attend the races with my colleagues. And anyway, that's my private life.
Goodbye, sir. It is obvious that we cannot inspect the quarry. Instead, we can check the beach area around the flooded lake.
Allez, où la plage?
This railway branch should lead to the quarry. Let us take a look. The rail is rusted and looks old, but the railway is still usable. The railway ends here. That is strange. The switch is rusted, but it still works.
Bon, je reviens, je vais chercher un verre à boire. Je reviens. Alors, la mine ou la plage? La plage.
Here we are at the beach that is located near the quarry and Doncaster station. It doesn't look like a very good place to rest. These traces were made by carriage. Look. The vehicle pressed this stone into the ground. It would have been quite heavy. Nothing interesting here. Nothing interesting here. Nothing interesting here. Nothing interesting here. The vehicle would have been heavy, as these tracks are quite deep. These traces are relatively fresh and were made by a large truck loaded with materials. The traces found at the disassembled shed near Evesham and at the lake were from the same vehicle. An abandoned gypsy caravan. This place was abandoned fairly recently. Observing the coastline and the moored boats, we are able to see that the lake's water level dropped. The lake has flooded the quarry. The dam was probably breached. A label with the name Las Zarpas.
Et en fait, hein, ou alors j'y ai déjà joué, mais enfin, je sais pas. C'est bizarre parce que ça ressemble étrangement à, je sais pas. Mais je sais que si le jeu il est de 2014.
Here are the mines, Holmes. They appear to be abandoned.
Je sais pas. Pas ça me dit rien.
This mine has completely collapsed, Holmes.
It is curious, but to be truthful, I am not entirely surprised.
It's difficult.
Someone removed these screws, most probably to take down the rails. A few feet of the rails have been dismantled. This box must be the safe. Let's open it.
Oh. Attends. Ce qui est bien ce jeu, c'est que tu peux éviter de... C'est ça qui est bien. C'est que tu peux éviter le truc. C'est ça qui est génial. Hop, tu passes. Hop. C'est ça qui est génial, ça. Ouais, hop, yo.
The Mexican company Caracao and the Chilean Barcazas both want to buy the mines. I need more information. Perhaps Mycroft could help.
Si c'était grave pour inquiéter sur la société.
The distance between the tracks is about 4 feet 8 inches. A lightly loaded vehicle came this way. There is a wooden beam lying on the rails. A small vehicle with wooden beams went down this way. My search should be focused upon the name Las Zarpas. My search should be focused upon the name Las Zarpas. My search should be focused upon the name Las Zarpas. My search should be focused upon the name Las Zarpas. This is an unusual kind of paper, stiff and dry. It was used for a specific purpose. Let us look inside. Sawdust. I am almost certain it is a... Watson, could you assist, please? Do you have your pistol? Good. Fire at this package.
Dynamite.
Sabotage. Sabotage. Alors, la gare de Doncaster. Bon, on va retenir la gare de Doncaster, hein, puisqu'il faut y aller. Ouais, donc, ou là, je sais pas, franchement, je sais plus. Je sais que j'en ai joué un, mais ça, un qui était en français, qui avait les voix françaises. Mais à savoir si celui-là. Que je sais que le même exactement, enfin non, pas le même, non. Encore un autre. Encore un autre. Encore un autre Sherlock Holmes qui est en français. C'est ça que je comprends pas trop pour le.
This scent is familiar to me, but in order to recognize it, I must combine my associations into one picture. A greenish-brown cigar with a strong aroma, a hint of peppermint. Ricardo.
You already know the name of this man? Holmes, you amaze me.
No, Watson, I refer to the cigar. It is a Ricardo Tarrant, a Mexican cigar of an excellent quality. Quite an expensive one, too. This ashtray is full of ash and cigar stubs. Apparently, there was a conflict between the Mexicans and the Chileans. A greenish-brown cigar with a strong aroma, a hint of peppermint. These ashes and cigar stubs are similar to the one that we found on the floor. Some of the stubs were recently smoked. There are others that appear fairly old.
That means that the fellow spent several days here. Judging by his clothes, he's hardly a traveller or a tramp.
Well concluded, my dear fellow. A man who smoked the Ricardo brand of Mexican cigar spent several long days at Doncaster Station. This ashtray is full of ash and cigar stubs. I asked Mycroft to find out some information on the WEA Coal Company. Here is his reply, and it is an interesting one.
Comme je disais hier. Mais non, mais... Ah, qu'est-ce qui m'agace quand il est comme ça? Passage le gars, un peigne fin.
There was a gentleman of Mexican origin, I believe, in the waiting room. Did you notice him?
What? A Mexican? Here in the back of beyond? Are you quite sure about that?
Goodbye, sir. Watson, it seems that both South American companies were involved in the purchase of the mine.
The man at Doncaster who flared our approach, he smokes Mexican cigars. Perhaps...
Yes, Watson. We should certainly speak with him.
Ah, mais où? Ah oui, d'accord, mais où?
Please, sir, we would ask you not to leave. We have some questions.
Are you the police?
No, we are employed by the railway company. We are collecting witness statements about the train that disappeared last night.
Lo siento, I'm in a hurry.
Really? It seemed that you were waiting here for someone. Could you tell us if you were at the station last night?
No, I just arrived from South America.
A formidable journey, no doubt. Which country are you from?
De Chile.
Chile? But you are Mexican.
No, you are wrong. Why would you think I'm Mexican?
Because of your cigars.
Sí, cigarrillos. So what?
Those cigars are the Ricardo brand, from Mexico. It is quite impossible to find them anywhere but there.
Pero not your business.
I don't suppose that you are on vacation. What business brought you here?
I was to meet my fellow compañeros, who were due to arrive yesterday. They were on that damn train. I will stay here and hope that the authorities find them, or their bodies. It's now my responsibility to repatriate them.
Who authorized you to do that?
The company I work for.
Could you tell me the name of the company?
It's not your concern.
And what is your name?
Enough questions. Buenas tardes.
Not a very friendly man, and he is lying. He said that he just arrived, but we know that he has been here for several days. The whole train just disappeared. It's unbelievable.
Il n'y a pas 36 000. Il n'y a pas 36 000 trucs. Hein. Pays fin.
You'll find nothing interesting here, I'm afraid.
Ouais, mais... Puis, ouais. Ouais, mais en pays fin, oui, il y a quoi, mais... Ouais, mais j'ai tout fait, là. Je me rappelle pas, mais je vois pas... Ouais, mais je vois pas... Ouais, mais je vois pas... Ouais, mais je vois pas où je dois aller. Bah oui, mais... Il y a un bug là, hein, parce que... Il y a un bug. Parce que là... Je vois pas... vois pas du tout je vois pas du tout quoi faire. Hein. Il y a un coffre, tu peux pas l'ouvrir, tu peux rien faire. Je vois pas trop. Je vois pas trop ce que j'ai oublié. Hein. Là on peut pas. On peut rien faire. Par là on peut pas aller par là. Je vois pas. On peut pas l'ouvrir. Là y a rien. Là on peut pas l'ouvrir. Ouais mais on peut rien faire. Là y a rien. Ouais mais mais là je vois pas trop je vois pas trop ce que je dois faire. Hein. Là y a rien à faire, là y a rien. Ah si attends.
This post bag belongs to the station master. The station master appears to have found himself in some financial trouble.
Bon. Non, pas bon. Ouais. Et maintenant? Eh oui, et maintenant? Et maintenant?
Railway post bags.
The whole train just disappeared. It's unbelievable.
Ouais, mais maintenant on fait quoi? On se regarde le blanc de l'œil. Et maintenant on fait quoi?
You'll find nothing interesting here, I'm afraid.
Oui, et puis maintenant on fait quoi? Ouais, d'accord, mais... Ouais, d'accord, mais... Ah, ça va pas commencer, hein. Oh putain. Bon, Enfin, bon. Ouais, mais maintenant on fait quoi?
Holmes.
Oh putain. Ouais, mais maintenant on fait quoi? Mais surtout on va où? Parce que là...
The entire train has disappeared. It's a disaster.
Ah oui, mais un peu plus loin.
Railway post bags.
Oui, d'accord. Mais maintenant on fait quoi? On va où? Ouais, maintenant on fait quoi? On va où? Découvrir ce qui est planté les wagons spéciaux. Bah oui, mais... On fait comment? Et surtout la question qui tue, c'est on va où?
Locked. There is no sense in asking the station master to open it. We shall have to pick the lock.
Mais non. Mais non. Mais non. Non.
Bags were recently dragged here. French wine, a remarkable vintage. These bottles are too expensive for a station master's wage. They were likely taken from the parcels.
Shameful.
These tools were used quite recently. They are still muddy. We should ask about them. Railway post bags. You have quite a number of dirty tools lying around here.
Ah, yes. Well, thank you for reminding me. I should clean them. Although, might be easier to put them outside. Seems it might start raining soon.
I meant, what were they used for?
Some workers come here and borrowed them from me. They wanted to lift the edge of the railway to one of the stations on the line, so that the water wouldn't come in too close.
Who were these workers?
Well, they didn't seem to be from the company, but they was fine lads. They invited me to share a drink. And whatever it was, it had a kick to it. They wasn't English. No, I don't believe so. But see, they knew just what a man needed to brighten up his dull evening. Ah, will I ever get any peace?
Eh bah, comme tu manges kebab, ouais.
Non, mais je vais y aller. Quand je vais me mettre dans la douche, puis je vais chercher à 7h. T'inquiète pas, Coco.
A fishing advertisement.
Puissance pourtant une petite qualité l'intérêt totalement.
Railway post bags.
It's a scandal. An absolute outrage.
Le seul putain texan. Le seul tronche du texan. C'est vraiment une seule tête. Hein.
According to this document, you have insurance for your prototype.
Oh, thank God. Where did you find it?
Near the telegraph station.
I must have lost it when I tried to send a message, which I was prevented from
I
doing.
apologise for that, but regulations state that public access to the telegraph is strictly prohibited.
Upon my word, you keep on digging that hole of yours. You have no idea who I am.
I see that you kept your grip sack with you. Why don't you leave it in the luggage room?
I've had other things to think about. I lost my prototype. And this idiot station master just stands here doing nothing to help.
Oh, but...
Well, that won't do at all. Station Master, I believe that the regulations state that any passenger luggage should be taken to the luggage room.
I'll do it right away, sir. Sorry, sir.
This Robinson is quite a character. We should learn more about him.
I will not move from here until I receive my refund.
It's a scandal. An absolute outrage.
This gripsack belongs to Mr. Robinson.
I think we should open it, Holmes. This is what they call force majeure. I'll keep watch.
Of course.
Bien. Mais non. Mais non. Oh mais... Mais... Ah putain de putain. Mais non. Ah.
Look, Watson, a bundle of contracts. Very suspicious. We should study them carefully. An exclusive sales contract. Mr. Robinson is the seller. Mr. Robinson is the seller. Yet another exclusive sales contract. Yet another exclusive sales contract. Mr. Robinson is the seller. Mr. Robinson is the seller. Yet another exclusive sales contract. Well, it is very clear that this Mr. Robinson received prepayments from various people for his machine.
Client se porter. Je sais pas. Je sais pas. Bon ben voilà, deuxième F a fini. Il y a un 6 hein. Il y a un 6.
Then the case is solved, Holmes. What do you intend to do?
Well, I shall require assistance for the arrests. There were accomplices.
Ah, but I know that look. You have your own ideas. What are they, Holmes?
On the one hand, we have the local constabulary and advice from our friend Lestrade. The problem we have there is that the authorities seem to be incapable of acting quietly. They rely on brute force. It could result in an international scandal. Our other option is Brother Mycroft and his tedious political games. He will locate the guilty parties without any trouble, but it will be a long and drawn-out process, and possibly with some compromise that will be to Mycroft's benefit. But I think I'd prefer to give Mycroft a chance. We should overlook our personal differences on this occasion.
Let us go home, then. I'd like to begin writing a draft of this story.
Charitable. Moi charitable. Moi charitable. Moi je suis quelqu'un de charitable. Ouais, s'ils le disent. Non, non, je l'ai déjà fait. Je l'ai déjà fait. J'ai déjà fait, mais là ils l'ont remasterisé pour la One, quoi. Parce que je vais peut-être raconter les conneries, mais si c'est 2014, si le jeu date de 2014, je me rappelle y avoir joué, mais c'était sur la 360. Donc à l'époque, il n'y avait pas les graphismes qu'il y a maintenant. Donc c'est encore plus vieux que Hercule Poirot en termes de données. Mais ils ont dû simplifier.
Holmes, what happened?
I feel deathly.
And you look it. Let me examine you. Please don't tell me that you've returned to your old habits.
Bon bah moi je vais me chercher un verre à boire, je reviens. Je reviens.
The pupil is dilated. The temperature appears to be normal. I need to concentrate and count the heartbeats. I need to concentrate and count the heartbeat. A weak pulse, around 50 beats per minute. But you're dying, Holmes. Your pulse rate is dropping. We need to get you to the hospital immediately.
The antidote. Give it to me.
The antidote? You mean that you're poisoned?
Now. Please.
Here, drink it all. Don't tell me that you did this to yourself.
Hemlock and datura. I was compelled to.
Holmes, imagine if I'd not returned home when I did. What might have happened?
I knew that you would.
Mr. Holmes, Inspector Lestrade is here to see you.
Mr. Holmes is unable to see anyone at the moment. He is unwell.
A good day, Inspector.
Ah, Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to find you here. I need your help. This is a strange one. We have brought in 2 young bankers from the city, sons of lords, members of the chamber, and so on and so forth. They were found stranded in a rowing boat that was drifting on the Thames.
A romantic escapade with an unhappy ending, Lestrade.
What? Well, yes, they were both in the bath, but... what?
As I said.
And they were tied together.
You are lacking in imagination, Inspector.
Well, no, I'm not. Anyway, there was a banner flapping about in the boat with the RMS Oceanic printed on it and signed by the Merry Men.
The Oceanic? Isn't that the largest steamer ever built?
Yes. And these 2 young banker chaps are sons of the owners of the White Star Line, the company that built it. There are rumours of corruption.
I'm not interested in politics, Lestrade.
I'll keep it then. Here's another one that's a bit more complex and maybe to your liking. It's a murder, but we're unable to find any weapon. We haven't touched anything. It's at the Roman Baths in Strand Lane.
A murder, a vanishing weapon, the Roman Baths. That's for us. Watson, fetch your hat.
Mais parce que en fait ils ont fait 2 Sherlock Holmes. Ils ont fait ce Sherlock Holmes là et un autre. J'ai joué à l'autre, mais à l'autre ça remonte à. Mais ou alors celui-là est sorti sur One, mais pas sur 360. Sur 360 ça ferait 360 ça serait trop vieux. À mon avis ils l'ont remasterisé pour la One X. Je pense parce que c'est pas possible autrement. Non, parce que 2014, si j'avais la 360, ça me paraît vieux. Vieux, mais pas possible, n'empêche. Parce que 2014, je sais pas.
Beautiful place.
With a dreadful murder. The body of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe is still in the steam room. It has not been touched, per your usual instructions, Mr. Holmes. I shall be waiting for you here, but please hurry.
Are you able to identify the men who were with the victim in the steam room?
Yes. The manager of the bath, Sir Gregory Pitkin, a lad from the city council, Garrow, and an archaeologist by the name of Blinkhorn. I think the plump one, Garrow, did it. He doesn't seem right in the head.
Well, we shall see. You found no murder weapon?
No, and that's why I called you. All 3 witnesses and the victim were locked in when the murder occurred, And they remained so until we got here. We even had to pick the lock to enter.
I see. Was there anyone else here, apart from those gentlemen in the steam room?
Yes, a Mr. Phillips. He was the one who called the police. He'll be able to give you more details. Any progress, Mr. Holmes?
Good day to you, Mr. Phillips. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my colleague, Dr. Watson. Would you be so kind as to answer our questions?
Certainly, sir.
Please tell us the chain of events from the start of your day. Everything that you can remember. The slightest detail may be of importance.
Very well, sir. I came in at 6:30 this morning, and I opened the baths. I made sure that the room was clean, and I prepared the towels. The brazier was still burning.
There was a fire burning all night?
Yes, Sir Gregory ordered me to light the brazier yesterday. It takes some time until the room is fully heated. The gentlemen had a meeting at 9 o'clock this morning. They wanted everything to be perfect. They'd been in the steam room for 20 minutes when I suddenly heard shouting. I ran to the door, but it was closed. I couldn't open it. So I ran out to the street to call for the police. One constable came up, and then there were others, and they picked the lock. Then Inspector Lestrade came along, and he told us that nothing should be touched.
Did you receive any other visitors this morning?
No one. Until these gentlemen arrived. Sir Gregory was the first. And then, while we were discussing work details, Sir Rodney and Mr. Blinkhorn arrived, and Mr. Garrow followed.
What happened after that?
I waited until they'd all entered the steam room, then I returned to the hall. The changing room door was open, so I should hear if they needed anything.
You would have heard if someone had entered or left the steam room?
Certainly, sir. These doors make a lot of noise. These baths are becoming sinister.
These clothes belong to one of the suspects from the steam room. Clothes belonging to one of the suspects. Expensive clothes belonging to one of the men from the steam room. Unopened. It was intended to be enjoyed after the steam session. Champagne for a special occasion. An ice bucket to keep the champagne chilled. death with a peculiarly Roman piquancy.
Like the one you almost had an hour ago.
Let us forget about that.
There was only one hit from the weapon. It pierced the right eye straight through to the brain. Death would have been instantaneous.
The wound should not have bled so profusely. This pool is rather large. Some dirt or earth. I'll take a sample. Some dirt or earth. Look, Watson. He was wearing a ring. He very likely removed it before the steam session.
Death is very recent, between 30 minutes to 1 hour ago.
I think we have found all that we can here, taking into consideration the abysmal lighting. Constable, we have finished with the body.
We don't have many leads here.
What concerns me is that we still have to find the murder weapon.
Mr. Holmes?
Please have the body removed without disturbing anything else in the room.
All right, Mr. Holmes.
I was wondering, Holmes, it's fairly reckless to carry out a murder inside a closed chamber. Why do you suppose they did it?
There are a great many possibilities. The murderer was in a hurry. Or he is an artist. Or a ghost. Or he wanted to ensure that I'd be brought in on the case.
Probably the latter. You are ridiculous. Do you know that?
I should check this blood sample at Baker Street. This key was covered in blood. I should ask Phillips about it. With the steam on, I'm unable to see even a few feet away. One lens is cracked, probably due to the temperature of the brazier. These lenses are for myopia. The wearer is short-sighted. The grid cannot be removed. Blood traces wiped on the towel
It's horrible. So Rodney is dead. Can't we speak about it somewhere else?
I'm in shock. I don't want to talk.
It's horrible. I can't talk at the moment.
With the steam on, I'm unable to see even a few feet away. With the steam on, I'm unable to see even a few feet away.
Un truc à ramasser, hein.
Mr. Holmes, I should like to take the suspects to the yard. You can interrogate them there. Any objections?
None, Lestrade. Frigidarium. This area serves as Sir Rodney Bentcliffe's workshop.
Wow.
Tools used by archaeologists in their research. I will need these tongs. A shape has been cut in the plate. What should be done with it? Archaeological findings. Old clay pots with numbers inscribed upon them. Archaeological findings. Old clay pots with numbers inscribed upon them. A glass plate negative is missing. It is a glass plate negative of an Egyptian statue. Glass plate negatives, a remarkable method for recording ancient civilizations.
I wonder how this could have happened.
Yes, it is somewhat treacherous. Fortunately, I am unscathed. To where does this corridor lead?
To the frigidarium, the coal room.
Barely unscathed and by a very small margin. And treacherous is an understatement. Those stones weigh tons. We won't move them.
It does not matter. If our investigation requires it, we shall ask for them to be removed.
Fouiller la scène de crime, apparemment j'ai pas tout fait, a priori.
The grid cannot be removed. With the steam on, I'm unable to see even a few feet away.
Mais pourquoi je peux pas... Mais pourquoi je peux pas... C'est jamais impossible de sortir. Bah oui, mais... Non, il y a trop de trucs.
I should analyze this melted metal. The weapon is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Holmes?
Bon. Je vais arrêter, moi. 7h30. Vous allez me diffuser quand même, hein. 2h30. 2h30. Hey. Hop, j'arrête là. Hop, j'éteins. Et j'arrête là. Tac. Hop. Tac. Hop, j'arrête.